All right, what's going on, you guys? Brian here with a quick recap and breakdown of what happened on tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Fox. Of course, this Sunday, the Elimination Chamber event happens. Two Elimination Chamber matches, one for the WWE Championship on the Raw side, and one to see who will face Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship on the very same night for the SmackDown side. And it looks like we will find out the answer on Sunday to who will Edge challenge, or which champion will Edge challenge at WrestleMania. And according to reports that is being reported online by the dirt sheets, it will be, in fact, Roman Reigns that Edge challenges at WrestleMania. Apparently, according to, and reportedly, there are 4 matches that are done deals as far as going to be taking place at WrestleMania, and Roman versus Edge is one of them. So it looks like Edge will challenge Roman, and will give Roman his answer this Sunday at Elimination Chamber. So let's just get into it. Speaking of Edge, he started off the show tonight cutting a promo about making a decision on Sunday at Elimination Chamber. He would be interrupted by Roman Reigns, who basically said that Edge should pick him. They would be interrupted by Sami Zayn, who said he's going to win the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday. He's going to win the Universal title from Roman Reigns on Sunday. All this stuff. He wound up getting super kicked by Jey Uso. Of course, on tonight's show, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn were going to be on the same team in a 6-man tag, as we would see the 6 competitors in the Elimination Chamber match on the SmackDown side competing in a 6-man tag with King Corbin, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso teaming up against Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro. So that was the main event. Also on tonight's show, Apollo Crews finally snapped. After weeks of keeping his cool, he finally snapped after losing to Shinsuke Nakamura on tonight's episode. He attacked Nakamura, knocking him out of the ring. He was going to use the ring steps, but Big E, the Intercontinental Champion, who was at ringside on commentary, talked him down, told him, it's over, you lost, just walk away. And Big E obviously didn't learn that when you turn your back on a heel, bad things will happen. As Apollo Crews picked up the steps, he hit Big E in the back with the steps, and then knocked Shinsuke over the barricade, then put Big E back in the ring, was going to do something with the steps to Big E. Referee stopped him. Big E rolled out of the ring, and then they did the whole, Apollo's going to drop the ring steps on Big E on the arena floor, even though they didn't show the stairs falling on Big E. But then when they showed Big E on the outside, he was holding the back of his neck, holding his back. They brought the medical team out, and they loaded him onto a stretcher and rolled him to the back and put him in an ambulance. A little bit later on in the show, Seth Rollins would cut a promo when they were rolling Big E out of through the curtain. He came out, cut a promo, talking about how he knows what Big E is feeling to being betrayed by his friends. He felt the same way last week when all of the SmackDown roster walked out on him when he made his return, except for Cesaro, and that's why he went after Cesaro, because Cesaro basically was saying last week that Rollins didn't change, and he went after him last week. And then on tonight's episode, Rollins announced that he filed a formal protest, a formal complaint, and it's going to be a legal matter now. So, it is what it is. That was pretty much it for that. We had Edge, who was, like I said at the beginning of the show, meeting throughout tonight's episode. He met with the other competitors except for Jey Uso that are going to be participating in the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday. He met with Kevin Owens. A little bit later on in the show, he met with King Corbin, and he met with Cesaro during an interview. And he also talked to Daniel Bryan. All of them said basically the same thing. They'll see him at WrestleMania when they win the Universal Championship after they win the Elimination Chamber match on Sunday. They were going to win the Chamber and then face Roman Reigns later on in the same night and win the Universal title. So that was it for that. We had Natalya and Tamina defeating the Riot Squad, due in favor to Billie Kay. We had a Ding Dong Hello segment with Bayley, and her guests were the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. They talked about Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. Then here comes Reginald, Carmella's sommelier, to kind of talk up Sasha. Then Sasha came out. Bianca Belair then came out. Then one thing would lead to another, and then Reginald would make the challenge that it would be him, Bianca Belair, and Sasha Banks facing off against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, and Bayley. And that was another match that happened on tonight's show. And in a surprising turn of events, Reginald won the match for his team, pinning Nia Jax after Nia Jax caught him, was going to slam him, but then Banks and Bianca Belair hit a double drop kick, and Reginald wound up pinning Nia Jax, so that was pretty weird. We had Rey and Dominic Mysterio defeating Otis and Chad Gable via disqualification when Otis splashed Rey Mysterio after refusing to listen to the referee and only listened to Chad Gable. And then afterwards, Otis would hit a middle rope splash onto Rey Mysterio again. So obviously Otis, they're turning Otis heel, which is unexpected and surprising because they really don't have a lot of babyface tag teams. I mean, on SmackDown, as far as like challengers to challenge Rude and Ziggler, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions who were on commentary. We had Carmella and Reginald backstage. Reginald brought Carmella a glass of wine. She started, she started asking him where he was at. And then when he lied to her, she told him that, listen, just let's hope this doesn't happen again, because if it does, well, let's just hope it doesn't. She then drank the wine and then spit it back in her cup, in the glass, and then threw it in Reginald's face and told him to get her another one. So that was it for that. Then the main event, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens defeated King Corbin, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn when Daniel Bryan made Sami Zayn tap out to the Yes Lock. Afterwards, King Corbin hit the End of Days on Daniel Bryan. Kevin Owens hit a stunner on King Corbin. Then Sami Zayn hit the Blue Thunder Bomb on Kevin. Then Cesaro took Sami Zayn out with an European uppercut. Then Jey Uso took Cesaro out with a super kick. Then Edge, who was on commentary during this match, hit a spear on Jey Uso, and then Roman Reigns speared Edge to end SmackDown, and that pretty much was it for tonight's episode of SmackDown. They also announced this Sunday at Elimination Chamber, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax will defend the women's tag team titles against Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. So that is another huge match for Elimination Chamber. So that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. This has been my SmackDown recap. As always, I am Brian, and I will see you next time.